Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of XRP, taking a look at that price action, what's going on with the world of on-chain data, and of course having a look at the news as well. As we get into today's video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out, link description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out. Let's kick things off by jumping down into our 1 hour time frame. So here on our 1 hour time frame, we are still expecting a move to the downside. We might see momentum shifting around a little bit, but for the most part, we are consistently getting smacked back down by our 50 EMA. Now we have seen this move to the downside here, giving us encouragement of thinking about a diagonal potential pattern. This is not an impulsive structure, but it's possible that we still find ourselves nested into a potential structure that is like that. For me though, I do think this is more diagonal based. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In here. This means that we might actually start to see a bit of a break upwards before we continue our move down. We've been talking about this for a little while, my expectations on how high I think this thing is likely to go. And now looking at it, I think we have the potential to kind of rally on up more towards 53 cent. This is going to be an approximate area back on our entry here. We'll talk about this trade that we were talking about previously later in the video. But from a three-wave pattern, we would look at this as an A, B, and C structure or WXY structure. And this would basically be following on from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leading diagonal structure that we see here. Sorry, not leading diagonal, expanding diagonal that we see at the beginning. From this, once we have this high, roughly between 53 and 54 cent, we would see descent back down into another 5-wave structure where we'll actually be moving down towards our targeted range a little bit more accurately. So for the most part, that's kind of where I think the hourly chart is heading at the moment. We're heading down nicely, but before we can continue this move down, we kind of do have to experience this bounce up towards 53, 54 cent in my opinion. Again, we'll see whether or not we can get past that 50 EMA, because that 50 EMA on our hourly chart is the area of resistance at the moment. So we're going to try to rattle our way through there in order to get to this target range. Something that I do think is possible, but we need to kind of keep a close eye on it. I'm going to move our low range here, this white line, back to 50.327. This is going to basically be the area that if we break this low, then we are in fact already starting our next descent to the downside. We shouldn't break this low before hitting our highs. If we do, then obviously we break the idea of this move up to 53, 54 cent. Okay, so for the most part, that's kind of where that sits. I think gradually over time, our 200 EMA is going to be in this little zone as well, and we're not likely to push above 55.750. And if we do break above the 55.750, then that is going to change our structure as well, and it will basically mean that we're not having this descent in the same way that we thought we were. Invalidation for our 5th wave move to the downside, it still sits up here on the wave 1, sat at 59.739. So anything above that breaks the idea of coming down into this low area, 35 to 39 cent. Okay, so there's a couple of things here to kind of note, right? If we break above the 55.75, then we are still in wave 4. If we break down lower than 50.327, then we're in our wave 5. And if we break above 59.739, we break the idea of a wave 5 altogether. Okay, so good structure, good understanding as to kind of where things are going here on our 1 hour time frame. Taking this up into the daily, this shows us with all of this move theoretically is just our wave 3. We'll have a bounce up for a wave 4 afterwards, and then of course down again into another wave 5 position. This shows us with the potential for theoretical nesting positions. Now this is not yet confirmed, but based on their internal workings, something that I think we have to be really aware of. This is not something that's going to confirm until we drop down into those 35 cent ranges, 35 to 39 cent ranges for that 5th wave. Once we hit that 5th wave move, we then get confirmation that that was in fact a wave 3. At the moment, we are too high on the price chart to be considered wave 3, meaning that this is just theoretical at this point in time, but considering the patterns, this is something that we have to consider. Moving down into the low ranges, you can see the support level to be found between 30 and 33.9 cent. This is the area that we're looking to hold, but failure to hold this area, I think, is going to basically mean that we have to come down deeper. Ultimately, if we do complete a 5-wave pattern here, then I expect a bounce up only to drop back down into new bear market market lows. So in a roundabout way, we do want to kind of invalidate this to prevent ourselves from slipping down into zigzag and impulsive patterns into new bear market low points. So from a daily standpoint, it's interesting. We've got some concerns. We're quite weak on the daily chart because we are below the 200 EMA and 50 EMA at the moment. But things can change quite quickly, so we keep a close eye on it. From a weekly standpoint, again, we did close above the 50 and 200 weekly EMAs, but it's not looking great at this point in time. That wick coming down here has basically broken some of those high points that we were setting previously, essentially meaning that we were in higher highs and higher lows. That is no longer the case because we broke that. Okay, so now because of this particular break in our structure, we have to consider what that might mean for XRP on the longer time frame. It means that essentially we might see slippage here further to the downside. And again, we do suspect potentially there's going to be some new lower lows within that structure. We spoke about those on the daily just a moment ago. And so our weekly is very much aligned to that thinking, a bounce up and then a potential move back down. Now, if we're lucky, we might find that area of the low 28 to 30 cent area kind of holding as good support. But for now, we kind of take what's there at the moment. We're okay. We're holding up better than we are on the smaller time frames, but there's still concerns here. If we do get a weekly close below that 200 EMA, I think at that point there's going to be a very bearish move for XRP, and it's going to potentially take us down a lot deeper in price action. Okay, this comes on the back of actually hitting those highs as expected at the 93.8 area, and we still are targeting out the highs as well, moving up more towards 557 and 1121 for new all-time highs in the future. This is a move at the moment that basically tells us that we are either potentially not finished with the bear market as expected for XRP, or just a healthy correction so that we can get a rally up to the higher highs and so forth. So for now, it's okay, but we'll keep a close eye on it and see how those smaller time frames, the hourly, the 4 hourly, kind of react to price, or how price kind of reacts on those time frames will help us get a bit of a bead on what is going on in the larger time frames as well. So let's go ahead and take this up into data. So membership.𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏.io is our membership website. On the membership website, we have so many different things, including a 7-day free trial across all the plans. So risk-free, right? You go ahead and sign up using a 7-day free trial. Obviously, if you don't want to continue, go to your profile area and cancel that. If you don't, then you will be charged all the kind of usual stuff that you expect from any subscription-based model. But for the most part, there's lots of different things that we offer our members, everything from AMAs twice weekly, exclusive video content, exclusive technical analysis, whale alerts, what the team are buying and selling, staking, and so much more, including trading and various different things. You can check out the various different kind of perks that we have to offer through the link in the description below. We're here to talk about the data zone, and specifically the XRP data, which if I go ahead and bring it up here, we can take a look at. Now we're just going to jump to the overview area just to kind of talk through some of those overview stats before we jump into the wallet side of things. Ultimately, we all-time high, $2.32 according to the data source here. That's been 2,055 days since that all-time high. We're currently 84.29% down from the all-time high. Those things are great to look at, but ultimately the big takeaway is that there were 935,000 transactions in the last 24 hours, and it only cost $912 to complete all of those transactions. And the staggering thing is that the average transaction value was $6,692, which basically just shows you that XRP is designed to move money, right? Unlike things like Ethereum, where the fees cost like $5 million for a very similar transaction count, it doesn't make sense to kind of be moving money around on Ethereum, right? Not without some kind of scaling tool. You don't have those problems with XRP. It's designed to move money, and it does incredibly well and incredibly efficiently. It's very clear to see from the data aspect here. Now, when we take a look at the wallet counts, there's 10 different wallets here, all the way from the 0.001 XRP per wallet, all the way through to a million XRP per wallet. Now, obviously, you need a minimum, for those who do not know, you need a minimum of 20 XRP to open up a wallet. You're not allowed to move that. Once it's actually in that wallet, you kind of forego that 20 XRP. Which means that most of these low counts don't actually account for anything. Obviously, the bottom 5 counts, 100 XRP or more, 1,000 XRP or more, 10,000 XRP, 100,000 XRP, or a million XRP. These are the ones that are actually meaningful in this particular case and example. So with a million XRP or more, we can see that accumulation has happened over the last 365 days. Same for 100,000 XRP or more, at 20% over the last year. 10,000 XRP is up 31.28% over the last year. 1,000 XRP, 28%, 100 XRP 21%. Basically, across a year period, we can see that there's been great accumulation. Even in the last 7 days, 100 XRP or more has grown by 0.21. We see that 1,000 XRP wallets have grown by 0.37%. We can see that the 10,000 XRP has grown by 0.45%. The 100,000 has actually gone down just a little bit to 0.24%. Negative, and then a million XRP is down 0.47%. So you can see that the larger side, the 100,000, the million sides, is down ever so slightly, about approximately 0.5%. But accumulations happened elsewhere as well, right? So XRP's moved around wallets, different kind of demographics of people that are holding it and so forth. It's quite interesting. So from a news standpoint, what do we see? Nothing much other than the fact that the things that we know already, such as the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, has cost XRP 3 years of adoption. This is since December 2020 through to now. It's not quite 3 years, but you're getting there at this point. Yes, it's been very slow. It's been suppressed in price through the previous bull market. And it's definitely cost Ripple and XRP in different ways. Ripple's business in the US has kind of been, quite stagnant, but it has grown massively outside of the States. XRP price hasn't grown as much as it should, and adoption definitely hasn't happened in the same way that it would have done should this lawsuit not have been dropped in 2020. Specifically from the US side of things. But ultimately, we're confident long-term, regardless to this news. And so, we take a look at the wallet counts. The wallet counts are moving up quite nicely and all those kind of good things. But let's go ahead and move over to exchanges. From an exchange standpoint, we see $2.9 million of liquidations for XRP. Bybit was the exchange with the most amount of liquidations at 1.22 million. 65.73% were long positions that were liquidated and 34.27% were short positions. Bybit equated to about 41% of all liquidations, OKX 27%, Binance 16%, Huobi 9%. Okay, so we can see there's a reasonable amounts of liquidations now. And when it comes to kind of exchanges, it's important that we kind of spread our risk the best that we can as retail investors. And my strategy to this is quite simple. I register to as many different exchanges as I possibly can. I have accounts with Binance, Coinbase, Bybit, KuCoin, Gate.io, and so many others, right? And essentially, it's a great strategy to be able to use these different platforms as and when needed, right? You're not just kind of bottlenecked into one particular platform. Now, my go-to platform at the moment is BitGet. BitGet, I use it for 100% of my leverage positions and 90 to 95% of my spot positions. And, there's an affiliate link in the description down below. If you haven't yet got yourself a BitGet account, I do think it's something that you're going to want to check out because this is a growing exchange that's going to be probably one of the most prominent in the next bull market. Now, if you do use that link in the description below, you will be eligible for up to $8,000 of rewards, depending on how much you deposit and trade on the platform. And again, like many times, I've said this before and I'll say it again, it's great strategy to make sure that you are familiar with how all these platforms work. How do you deposit fiat? How do you withdraw fiat? How do you deposit crypto? How do you withdraw crypto? Do I need to do KYC? Are there any limitations on the account? Do I need to link my bank account? And you do these things in the bear market so that you're ready for the bullish times, because in a bull market, you just do not know what exchanges are going to be online when you need to sell your assets. So if you haven't yet got yourself a BitGet account, why not check it out? Linked in the description below. It's, like I said, become my go-to platform. I use it for all my spot, 90 to 95% of my spot and all of my leverage trades. So why not go ahead and check it out? Let's move on to the trade area. So we obviously had this trade idea that we were kind of floating around the other day. We were talking about shorting it. When we had to put the stop loss above that 59.739, which is our wave one swing low. And so our stop loss is still up there at 60 cents. Our entry was here at 54.389. We're in profit here. I suspect we're going to have another opportunity to get into this. Now, this is not a trade that I've actually taken. Just something that I was talking about on the video, saying how I would have approached an XRP trade at that particular moment in time. I would have gone into a short position because that seems the most obvious thing. We can see that we had that diagonal pattern. We're looking for a move up. This is going to give us that next opportunity to kind of short the market if we haven't done so already, and maybe I will jump in then. So we are talking basically 53.80 to 54.391, and then from here, my expectation is a big kind of impulsive move to the downside. And our initial target for this would be 1.618 times the wave one. So I'll give this an approximate area down here at 46 cent. So, our target range would essentially be right down here or lower. So we'll be talking about 45 to 46 cent on that descent. So again, we'll come in on the low side, always give ourselves a little bit of room to breathe. That's about a 14% move. Should be very impulsive in the way that it breaks down from here. So we'll talk about a kind of big 5-wave drop like this. Coming in here, a couple of bounces because nothing moves in straight lines. We have to remember this. But for the most part, that's the expectation. 5-wave drop down to 45 to 47, 40, let me get this right, 45.5 to 46.1. From here, we bounce another 3 waves, and then we descend again into another 5 waves. And again, our target range is all the way down here, so it may have to be a really impulsive break to the downside. So again, we just lower our stop loss. We don't necessarily exit this trade because this one has legs to go significantly further, as we are potentially talking about a 27% drop overall. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of leave that one there, kind of give your thoughts on that one. Let me know yours in the comments below. I think that's going to wrap today's video up. If you have found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.